At our heart, we are a big data AI company who are very vertically focused. So we have more than 1,300 customers worldwide, and we really specialize in a couple of key verticals. So we'll obviously come back to media, but as an example, the retail CPG space, we work with some of the largest retailers in the world, as well as the brands for consumer packaged goods. And we help with things like supply chain management, which, as you can imagine, during COVID got very complex, but also kind of more in real time product placements, understanding halo effects of what product next to what product influences consumer behavior, understanding shelf placement, understanding forecasting, both based on weather and consumer behavior and all these other things to really help these retailers understand how to optimize their consumer experience, as well as their overall revenue and halo effects and buy-on patterns. On the finance realm and the fintech, we work with some of the largest banks in the world. So, in some cases, we're doing real-time transaction analysis, looking for fraud. So we're in real time, our AI engine's understanding every transaction, looking for things that are kind of out of the ordinary, and then flagging them to what amounts to kind of an army of investigators whose job it is to kind of sleuth out and sniff out any, nefarious intent or bad actors in the ecosystem. And then our platform also helps those investigators to really backtrace kind of sources of funds, looking for malfeasance or any nefarious intent, obviously, in the ecosystem. In doing so, it protects the banks, protects the infrastructure, and protects the ultimate consumer as well. And obviously several other verticals. But what we're here to talk about today is the media realm, right? So the organization's been around for nearly 40 years. And so we started out life as kind of a revenue optimization, revenue leakage consultancy. And we would be between the content owner and the distributor. In some cases, that could be an MVPD, could be a VMPD, could be a platform, really understanding, measuring the agreement, the commercial agreements between the entities, understanding the revenue that's downstream, and really being that objective layer of truth, saying, this is what should have been paid versus was paid, ways to optimize that, ways to improve both the platform and the distributor, as well as the content owner's relative position in the marketplace. And since then, we've evolved to become our own SaaS AI platform. So we're currently managing, several $billion worth of our customers' revenue, taking disparate data from the platforms, whether it's traditional linear for subscriber counts, viewership, rates, platforms, tiers, etc., bringing that into the application, and also on the digital side, where the data complexity is a magnitude more complicated, and really bringing those in. We've really, done well, worked and earned our position in the marketplace with over 90% of the leading global media and entertainment companies as our partners in one way, shape, or form, in a multitude of different functions. Which really takes us to our Revedia platform, which I think is really part and parcel to what we're talking about today. So Revedia started out on the traditional linear side. We're really working with MVPDs, bringing in all their subscriber data, revenue details, comparing that again to the distribution agreement and the KPIs therein, making sure that on an ongoing basis that the parties are working in concert, and everything from revenue management, forecasting, revenue treatment, accruals, adjustments, posting, all of those things. As all of you are fully aware, as the rise of OTT and digital continues to accelerate, that created an opportunity to evolve our Revedia platform to support a myriad of different business models. Everything from the various VODs to fast channels, all of those have a plethora of data that is incredibly challenging to manage. We will bring in data from dozens of different distribution outlets. And the very first thing we have to do is normalize that data, right? What it's called a single piece of content or a single stream of data to one distributor, when it comes back, can look very different than a different distributor. So we normalize all of that information, which in and of itself is a huge boon, because now you've got a single system of truth to understand the totality of your distribution and the performance results therein. From there, then we can get into optimization, predicting, forecasting, as well as all the revenue treatments, and really helping you understand what is happening to help inform what could and should be happening in the future.